Hi everyone, this short PowerPoint is going to be a review of your Part 1, that Part 1 part of your capstone paper, and then an overview of Part 2. So Part 1, the purpose of Part 1 had many elements. First, writing a page for a meta title page. And basically, I wanted to make sure that you knew how to do this, and if you weren't sure how to, at least knew how to find out how to do it, find the information, and then to be able to actually construct a clear APA formatted title page. Next, you could write a clear and concise thesis statement, because this is the purpose of your paper. You need to make sure that you understood that your capstone paper is not an argumentative paper, it's not a persuasive paper, it is a research paper. So we're letting our research lead to our conclusions. And this all starts from having a clear and concise thesis statement. And also that you're able to discern, so you can understand scholarly writing and then summarize the content of the scholarly writing into a paragraph and cite your source. So if I provided feedback such as there were many technical writing errors, please work with one of the writing centers. It is just from the heart to help you, because this Part 1 is a really abbreviated, like a snapshot of what this capstone paper is going to be. So I want to make sure that you can make any corrections in Part 1. So as we progress throughout writing the capstone paper, when you get to the end, you have any deficiencies corrected and you are ready to go and you will be successful. So here is an APA formatted title page. If you have any questions about this, please look. A great resource is Purdue University's online writing lab. The acronym is OWL, O-W-L. So if you put in your search engine APA OWL and hit enter, you'll probably be directed pretty close to the Purdue University's online writing lab. And then there's a sample paper. APA resources are also listed in your course. You just go to, it's the very first, we have the list of modules, it's right there, it's at the very top, and you'll have a sample APA paper there and a lot of other APA resources. The clear and concise thesis statement. This is pivotal to the success of your paper. It lets me know that you know the topics that you need to address in your paper. We know the tone, the purpose of the paper, that again, it's not an argumentative paper. A lot of times, students are writing on a topic with which they're passionate about, that's fantastic. I hope you do that. But then we come into it with a preconceived notion. For example, some students will write about excessive force, and they'll have a statement such, this paper will prove that officers routinely use excessive force. And again, we're not proving anything with the paper. You should be letting the research, you're going to research excessive force. And then we will find out, we'll let the research lead to the conclusions. So just follow one of the formats it's in your syllabus. It is in Part 1. It is in the course. So it's in the announcements. Just kind of plug and play. Put your topic in one of the templates, and you'll be good to go. So clear and concise writing, and then citing sources in text. So this is what else I was looking for in your Part 1, your ability to demonstrate these skills. So some tips on what is clear and concise writing. Writing clearly means to choose the word that most clearly conveys your meaning. So here's some tips for some examples to really illustrate what clear and concise writing happens to be. So if you make a statement, I will take this, it is unclear, what is this? So you want to make sure you're ending with that noun. Clear is, I will take this dog. Unclear, I do not want that. Again, what's that? What do you want? What? Clear, I do not want that book. Eliminating unnecessary phrases. So if we look, correct could be, we will be home in 10 days. Incorrect, a lot of students will, because if you have a 10 to 12 page paper, so you want to make it wordy to fill in the pages, you will get marked down for that because that's not clear and concise writing. So you want to make sure all your words count. So if you need Extra length in your paper, go to your research, find out more information on your topic. So the incorrect version of this would be, I will be home in a period of 10 days. Again, it's just very wordy. You want to be clear and concise. We want to write in an active voice, not a passive voice. So one of the key tricks for this is not to avoid be words, be, been, being. So if we look at the examples here, correct would be, this week the committee decided to vote on the issue. This is a demonstration of active voice. Passive voice is the incorrect version. A decision to vote on the issue was made by the committee this week. Again, it's something that happened before as opposed to what's happening right now or what's coming in the future, what's actively happening. Number 3, shorten wordy phrases. Correct. John will call me if he can go. Incorrect. See how wordy this is? John will let me know in the event that he can get away and make the trip. So again, just you kind of want to go through and eliminate any unnecessary words. A couple reviews on APA formatting. You cannot in your paper include unsupported opinions. So for example, assume you actually work in the police field and you're well aware of what's happening with excessive force. You still cannot interject your own personal opinions. Everything has to come from your research. And to give credit to the authors, and to ensure that whoever's reading the paper can go to the reference page and actually go to this original source, we must cite in text and in the reference page. And if you have any problem with APA formatting, please reach out to the NAU Yuma Writing Center or the NAU Flagstaff Writing Center. So there's a summary review of part 1 and what we are looking for. Now for part 2. On your thesis statement, if I gave you comments to your part 1 so you need to change something on your part 1, make sure you incorporate those comments and revise your thesis statement for part 2, because you must include your thesis statement in your outline. And remember, when you're writing your paper, your first paragraph is your introduction. At the end of your introduction, that's where you put your thesis statement. For part 2, you have a template to follow. There's a link to this in the syllabus, also a link in the assignment. Click on the link, it'll bring up a Word document, and you can plug in your information. You need to cite your sources all throughout in every place within your outline. This shows me that what your sources you're using to support each of your different areas of your outline. If you're using bullet points, your bullet points must be detailed enough that I can tell what you mean. For example, if we're talking again, go back to our excessive force topic. If one of the comments happens to be ethical issues associated with excessive force, and you put like community support, that does not tell me anything. I need more information, again, than cite your source. Then you also include your reference page at the end, and it's sources that you may include. So again, it lets me have one last look at it before you start writing your paper to make sure you are you're referencing scholarly and appropriate sources, and you're on track with APA formatting. Just to reiterate, your acceptable sources. You cannot use, we'll start with unacceptable. You cannot use popular magazines, websites, blogs, newspaper articles, personal opinions, Wikipedia, YouTube, TikTok, anything that does not originate from a scholarly source. So scholarly sources are being defined as peer-reviewed scholarly journal articles. And here's some examples. Peer-reviewed trade journal articles. Again, here's some examples. And then your government sources. Well, good luck with part 2.